Do you find these events where you can speak directly to the people of Salford really useful for your work?
So this is the first event of this type that we've done. This is the first user engagement event that we've done. So I think it will remain to be seen what comes out of the tables. But in general, not related to this, I think it is really useful because we see things as staff from a staff perspective and what's important to us. But I'm very well aware that the experience of the patient can be very different, and they can come up with things that doesn't even occur to us. So, for example, a really simple thing was when we put the last new building up, we had white pillars, and people who were partially sighted kept walking into them. So that never occurred to those of us who are not partially sighted, but it's a really easy thing to fix in that we put coloured tiles on them. And so that's one really small example, but there are all sorts of things. So things that I've thought about for the new build are, most of the patients that come through this building will be either emergencies or be having high-risk surgery. And what we know are that relatives tend to stay. They don't go home, and often they can be there for many hours. So I think having provision for things like a cafe somewhere where they can go and sit down, get something to eat, get a drink, somewhere where they can go, I think is really important. But space is at a real premium, so everything that we put in will come at the expense of something else. So I think it's really important to know what's important to people and how important it is, so we can decide what the priorities are about, do we have additional patient beds, or do we put a cafe in, or do we have on-call rooms for staff, or, that everything comes at the expense of something else because we haven't got all the space in the world. So I think hopefully we'll get some useful feedback as to what's important to people from a patient and relatives point of view.
And how much a benefit do you think that the improvements, the helipad and the other features that are going to be adding to the building are going to make for patients themselves?
So for patients themselves, I think it'll be massive. So the building itself and the environment, what we'd like is to have all our emergency surgery in one place. So hopefully we'll have 5 theatres which will be purpose-built for high-risk complex emergent surgery. It will be co-adjacent to our imaging, our emergency department, and having the helipad on the top patients can reach us very, very quickly. They can access those services really quickly. At the moment, our A&E department is physically a long way from where our operating theatres are, which again is a long way from where our critical care unit is. And that makes it much more difficult to staff. Often it's the same people that are looking after patients in all those areas, particularly as an anaesthetist. So I think if you bring all those staff geographically closer together, then that will make a big difference. But as well, it's just additional facilities and additional space that we will need in order to take patients from a wider geographical area.
Okay. Should be